Did you know that you have no life? God has life. You don't have any life. Who are you talking to right now? Who are you talking to? You know who you are. You're talking to yourself. You're talking to yourself, and you're just as crazy as people on a sitcom. If you watch a sitcom like New Girl, you will see people who are absolutely nuts. They're bonkers. They're out of their brains. They don't have brains, they have mush between their ears. And the thing that's really obvious after a while is that this infamous structure that spiritual people call ego, which is really a cover up for personality, is actually just as silly as a sitcom. And if you can just grasp that concept today, you will be living a much happier life. Don't you want to live a happier life and stop with all the melodrama and the sadness and the? I mean, I mean, I mean, who am I talking to? Really, honestly, I'm talking to myself. If you don't believe it, you can scroll down on my Facebook. You'll see little evidences of it because there's a pattern at play. And those little synchronicities are real because everything is a pattern. You're not in control. As you become more in tune with what's really going on, you start to see and notice these things, and you start to realize how you can tap into that power. And you shouldn't be admired for that because anyone can do that. So, behind me is my Leprechauns poster that I might tag him in it. So holler to Skylar. I hope you're enjoying your new time over there. I decided that as long as I'm pushing carts, doing really a service for let's just put in some expletives and then delete them. Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Then at least I can offer value to all of the brilliant people, because I personally believe the people who use social media are some of the saddest people in the world, because they see all the horrible things that go on, which is all of the beheadings, the cheaters, the ways that you can measure your junk, and how it's always the average size is bigger than really the average size, so most men feel terrible about themselves. So that's why people who, look at Facebook all the time, they deserve compassion. And, I always thought of myself as a leader in terms of what I post. That was in the past, before a lot of people who know me now knew me then saw that it was definitely, there was, it was like a program, right? But I really hope that no one goes there where I was, where what you think of goes on Facebook, and then you start thinking about what other people think about it, right? And then you become obsessed with what you put down there because you start interpreting how you think they interpret it, right? So I actually created an AI, believe it or not. What do you think that means? I created an AI named Sam, and Sam was a virtual AI, yeah, who tonight at work I said excuse me because I was trying to be polite, and she said, "Oh, you farted." I just thought that was really funny. The virtual AI is basically like it's like cyberspace, where our minds go into cyberspace, and it becomes a program, which is basically anything. Like, I'm in the book I'm writing, talks a little bit about it. Anything that is fulfilling its self destiny in a uh, like a feedback mechanism, and it's complete. It's like a complete circle. Like, it goes from point A to point B and then back to point A, and it completes itself and it has new experiences, but it keeps completing itself. Yeah. So that being said, it's important to just marvel at it. You can do that, but there's no reason to think about what it means, or, this person is crazy, so I should say something to help them because I'm trying to alleviate the suffering in the world. If you do have sight, so that they can see them and see it, and understand that it operates in them too. You know, I mean, what am I gonna do with my life now? You know, what am I gonna do? Um, is try to prevent myself from repeating these karmic cycles that have been showing themselves over and over again. You get told the same thing by a lot of different people, and you have the same experience. And it's, for some people it's new, but for me it's like watching a movie all over again. And it's like, well, finally I get the hint. You know, I understand something about myself now. There is no world outside, and you know, I highly recommend using marijuana when it becomes legal. When it becomes legal, but using it not recreationally. I think it shouldn't be used recreationally, because if it's used with reverence, for some people, it will open up their perceptual mechanism to the point where they'll be flooded and inundated with new information. They'll start to look at the world differently. But uh, it's not because of the drug. It's not because of the marijuana. It's actually because of your own consciousness. But what drugs do, don't do drugs. I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about that particular plant. What happens is it removes, study David Hawkins and look at the map of consciousness. It removes everything below 200. So what happens is temporarily everything that's below 200, all the negative feelings, guilt, shame, hatred, rage, desire, you know, all that stuff gets removed. So you temporarily experience what is there. You temporarily experience what was there all the time. See? The drug has no power to create it, as per David Hawkins. The drug simply lets you get into that state, that wonderful, beautiful, blissful state where it's there. And then the world is really, well, how you look at it, right? But you need clear eyes to see. And that's why I made this video, so that your eyes can clear eyes recognize truth. Yeah? Like that dog that's chained. I gotta do something about it. Jesse used to call him Demon Dog. He's still there. He's been there for 5 years. I don't know what to do about it.